2nd and 6. If you let him carry, just hand it to him up the middle. If he gets 4, that's fine. Now it's 3rd and 2. Give it to him again, and give it to him again, and if you have to, give it to him 2 more times, and just slam it down their throats into the end zone.
Right.
Because that's how you take their quote-unquote manhood. That's how you send a message. This is how we're going to play this football game. And when they were forced, because of 2 Tannehill throws that went nowhere, I don't even know who they were to.
Right.
When they were forced to take the field goal, it felt like, to me, what happened to Bill O'Brien when he opted to take the field goal on 4th down when they were up 21-0 a week ago at Arrowhead. I didn't tweet this because I didn't want to jinx it, but my thought was at that moment, they might have just lost this football game right there because they showed Kansas City, we don't really trust 22 like you thought we might trust him. No, we're going to try to feature Ryan Tannehill. And what did you say all week? You got to, if you can make it Ryan Tannehill versus that guy in his house, you kind of like your chances, right?
I love my chances.
And I told you, I did not like Ryan Tannehill before he was drafted. You can look it up. You can see it on YouTube. I was not impressed. I was not a fan. I've been amazed that he got this far, but as you kept pointing out last week, it's all off play action. When you completely establish number 22 and you are fearing you just can't get that big bruiser on the ground, then all of a sudden if he play fakes, somebody's going to be open because they've got some weapons. They don't have Mahomes' weapons, but they got some weapons.
Because if you look at his early completions, you look at it, they're bringing the linebackers up, what we call mugging, and putting them in the A-gap, where they should be back there in the area that's vacated, but they're not. And so it's like Brown running across the route.
Somebody is open.
Wide open.
Wide open. And again, maybe they thought that Kansas City's just going to fall deeper and deeper into that trap. But they really didn't fall into that trap. And again, that was going to haunt, taking that field goal was going to haunt the visitors the rest of the way. So they did go up, as you point out, 17-7. That was with 6:29 left in the second quarter. But then something really weird and completely baffling started to happen. The new plan for Dean Pease, who was nothing more than a can of peas yesterday, the new plan was, I think against Mahomes, we should rush 3. What? You should rush 3. What are you doing?
You can't give him that kind of time.
And for much of the rest of the game, they sometimes rush 4, but they often just rush 3.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what is that? Where did this come from? Do you think you're fooling him? Do you think he's saying, oh, my God, there are too many people covering? And for a number of these plays, they actually would spy Rashaan Evans.
They would.
Okay, and I'm like, what do you, okay, Patrick Mahomes is good, but he's not Lamar Jackson.
Right.
So why don't you just rush Rashaan? Just And again, remember, this is Mike Vrabel, chip off the block of Bill Belichick, who has revolutionized defensive game plans for the last 10, 12, 15 years, where everybody in the league especially chips off his block. They come in with complex, creative, clever pressure schemes. You don't even have to call them blitz schemes, but you're sending different people from different places, different ways, until the quarterback is just baffled and he doesn't know where the next hit is going to come from, and he's off balance and he loses his way.
Especially if you don't have the ability to run the football. They can't run the football in the league.
Okay, with Damian Williams. Okay, so yeah, Mahomes was their leading rusher
for the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so that brings me to I'm just horrified by what I'm seeing, but they're hanging in, and then we get down to 23 seconds left in the half, and Tennessee is still clinging to a lead. So now it gets to be 2nd and 10 at the Tennessee 27, and could we see this play, the Mahomes run play,
please?
Oh, boy! Okay, look what's happening. They rush 3. And one rusher, Landry, he just rushes completely outside. Rashawn Gary takes a terrible angle and misses it.
That's that LeBron no look. That's that LeBron no look.
And look at Tremaine Brock. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's trying to get the ball.
Trying to get the ball. Okay, so I guess the Titans thought on that play, he's just going to run out of bounds and stop the clock. But he didn't run out of bounds, and he just kept sort of chugging along the sidelines because they'd only rushed 3, and now nobody seems to know it's a scramble drill. Nobody seems to know. Scramble drill usually means you should uncover as an offensive receiver, but this is like everybody decided.
You see that move?
It looks good every time.
That's LeBron James. When he get ready to shoot that three, he'll look away and then hit it quick on you.
Really?
He looked away on it.
The 34%.
I fell for it.
3-point.
Don't do this. Watch this.
Wait.
Rashawn.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
Okay.
Ooh.
Rashawn Gary, what are you doing?
Don't know.
So it all started with a 3-man rush, and Landry just rushes completely upfield past him, like he runs 10 yards past.
You gotta stay even.
Patrick
You can't run
Mahomes.
past
You
it.
can't do that.
No.
What are you doing? So the flank is completely uncovered, and usually with the 3-man rushes, a lot of times all 3 would just get caught in the middle like they were pinned up.
Right.
Because Kansas City's offensive line, especially as pass blockers, they can really pass block.
Yes.
And I'm saying, wow, you're just stymied. You know, your 3 guys are all stuck.
Right.
And Rashawn Gary is not fast enough to be a spy, because usually you spy with somebody who can run a little bit.
Well, he should be able to catch Mahomes.
Well, Mahomes ran 4.8 at the combine. 4.8.
Rashawn Gary ran faster than 4.8, I can assure you.
Okay, well, but he didn't look like he was game speed running that fast. And I guess Mahomes looked a little faster than 4.8, but Mahomes is looking, to my eye, bigger and bigger. And I don't have any problem with that, because you need to be able to absorb the punishment.
Right.
But he looks like, you know, you think he's 220? He's looking closer to
240.
He's 240.
Yeah.
And he moves fine, but he's not, let's just be clear about this, we're not talking about Lamar here.
No.
There's no real quickness. There's no real da-da-da to it, right? There's no make you miss.
He ain't got no fast twitch.
Okay, he's got no fast twitch. And so then we get to the second half, and in the first drive, this was the first time all day I saw this. Can we see the play? This is Kansas City's got the ball, 2nd and 10 at the 20. I'm sorry, I've got the wrong one. It's 11-17 less than the third quarter, and it's 2nd and 10 now in this series. And if you could see this.
They brought the pressure.
They brought the pressure. That's the first time all day. And look what Mahomes had to do. He had to throw it quick.
Yep.
Okay, why didn't I see that like 20 times in the game?
But they got the perfect call on. If you remember, that's the same blitz that the Texans brought that they threw the touchdown to Damon Williams.
Okay.
All 34 has to do is look. That's what Mahomes like. Are you going to look?
Okay.
Do you see the blitz coming?
But they did disrupt the timing of the route. And every once in a while, are you playing not to lose, or are you going for the throat?
Yeah,
which way?
You got to attack him.
Okay, then there was another later one when the game is still kind of dangling, barely. And this is a 3rd and 9 play at the Tennessee 39 with 2:20 left in the game. And they did it again. Look at this. They sent a corner after him, and he just had to throw it away.
Right.
I just showed you 2 examples of what Tennessee should have been doing constantly. Now, if you get burned, fine. You go to the next series.
I think he was afraid of that, Skip, because that's what he was doing. If you notice Coach Belichick, he's like, look, guys, we'll make him nickel and diamonds. They really instituted this because of Peyton Manning, because they would drop 8 in coverage, Skip, and say, look, we're not giving you home runs over the top.
Okay, but everybody knew Peyton couldn't hurt you at all with his legs, the way Brady cannot hurt you with his legs.
And the thing was, Skip, if you rush 3, if you run up the field, and you create lanes, he's just going to step into one of those lanes. And you don't have enough guys back in coverage because guys will uncover. But the biggest thing would happen, Skip, if you talked about Derrick Henry. In the first half, Skip, he had 16 carries. In the second half, he only had 3. But here's where the difference was.
3 carries for 7 yards in the second half.
On 2nd and 3rd down, he had 5 yesterday. Against Baltimore, he had 16 on 2nd and 3rd down. Against New England, he has 16. So what that was telling me, Skip Bayless, is that they were not in 2nd and manageable, 3rd and manageable. They were in 2nd and long. So it took Derrick Henry out of it and put the ball solely in Ryan Tannehill's hand. That's what you wanted. I want to make it mano-a-mano. Ryan Tannehill, you against Patrick Mahomes. And they were able to get to him early. They did a great job of attacking Derrick Henry. They're like, look, and that's why those windows were vacated, Skip, is that they attacked him early, they made him cut back, and there was someone there to meet him. But I wasn't concerned about Ryan Tannehill. If Ryan Tannehill throws for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and you lose the game, you just shake his hand. But I'm not letting Derrick Henry go for 150, 180, because I know what he can do.
Well,
2
by the
teams
way,
at home.
In the first half, Derrick Henry went 16 times for 62 yards.
Yes.
Do the math on that. So if you give him 32 carries for 124, I'm going to give Tennessee a shot in that game because you're going to be able to control the clock a little bit better. But that means that on some second downs, after he just went for a yard or 2 on first down, you're going to have to give it to him again. Have the guts, have the courage of your convictions just to say, I'll give it to you one more time.
And that was really, Skip, that was really the first time that they had fallen behind late in the ball game. Because if you remember in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter of the previous games, they had the lead. So they played the game on their terms. They dictated when they wanted to run the football, when they wanted to throw. I think they felt that this game was starting to slowly slip away, Skip, because even when Kansas City got the ball out of the half, it was a drop that stopped it. They didn't stop them. And I think Vrabel started to see it's not that we're stopping them. They're dropping passes and stopping themselves. So we got to try something differently because this game is slipping away. And I thought he put too much trust in Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill had an unbelievable season, but he had that kind of season because Derrick Henry looked like a Mack truck on an empty highway. Because that's what was happening. And now they shut him down, and Tannehill didn't do well with the football.
So in the 36 games, Derrick Henry has had 12 or more carries. This was the lowest yards per carry he's had ever in his career. It's 1.4 a carry. I congratulate Steve Spagnuolo, the new coordinator, and everybody who played on defense for their commitment to getting that big guy on the ground. I always call him the moose who runs like a deer. They got a hold of him and got him down with gang tackling. Okay, they're about to face a different challenge because the little guy, the little guy for San Francisco is about half of Derrick Henry's size. Little Mostert, little Raheem Mostert. He goes 5'11", 180. So think of that. Wouldn't he look about up next to Derrick Henry? Wouldn't he look like half of him?
He would.
Okay.
But forget Frank Clark. Frank Clark says he's not that big. He's big. He should run heavier. But the thing is, this is why you trade those first-round picks for Frank Clark, because he showed yesterday. This is why you go out and get a Tyrann Mathieu.
You know what?
Tackles.
I didn't love it for their sake that he talked before the game the way he did, but he backed it up, or at least he wrote a big check that his teammates had to cash.
That's the thing. If you write that check, you better have some teammates that can back it up.
And they did.
They cashed him out.
They did. Oh, that was a good one.
Skip, go ahead.